Good morning, class 10. I hope you have enjoyed your holidays. Now we have come to the second term and we will continue with the online classes. I will do Shakespeare's Merchant of Venice. We finished Act 3. We'll go on to Act 4. In Act 3, Salerio, Lorenzo, Jessica, they all come to Belmont and they give a letter to Bassanio. In that letter, Antonio has written that he is not able to keep the terms and conditions of the bond. That is, he is not able to pay the 3,000 ducats. 3 months are over and Shylock is insisting on the pound of flesh. Shylock wants to cut his pound of flesh. And the only desire that Antonio has before he dies is he wants to see Bassanio once again. And also he does not insist that Bassanio should come and see him, only if it is possible, if it does not come in the way of his arrangements with Portia, then only he need come to Venice. Act 4, Scene 1, Venice, a court of justice. Enter the Duke, the Magnificos, Antonio, Bassanio, Gratiano, Salerio and others. The introduction to each scene is important, where it takes place, who are the characters who enter the stage. Duke, what is Antonio here? Antonio is already in the court. Antonio, ready, so please your grace. I am already here. Duke, I am sorry for thee. Thou art come to answer a stony adversary, an inhuman wretch, incapable of pity, void and empty from any dram of mercy. I feel sorry for you. You have to defend yourself. You have to protect against yourself, against an enemy who cannot be called a human man. He is a stony adversary. He is an enemy with a heart as hard as stone. An inhuman wretch. You cannot call him a human being because he has no feelings of sympathy. Incapable of pity. He cannot show any compassion to anyone. Void and empty from any dram of mercy. Dram is a very small quantity. So even a very small quantity of mercy Shylock does not have. Shylock does not possess any compassion or mercy at all. That is why he is insisting on the penalty of the bond. Antonio, I have heard your grace hath taken great pains to qualify his rigorous course. I have already heard that the Duke has taken great trouble to change the mind of Shylock from the very strict path that he is taking, from his insistence on the pound of flesh. Your grace hath taken great pains to qualify his rigorous course. Rigorous course is the demand of the pound of flesh, which Shylock wants from Antonio. And the Duke tried to change this demand of Shylock. But since he stands obdurate, but Shylock will not change. He is very stubborn, he is very obstinate, obdurate. And that no lawful means can carry me out of his enemy's reach. Legally, I cannot hope to save myself. I do oppose my patience to his fury. He is full of revenge. He is angry. He has so much of hatred for Antonio. And Antonio is ready to face Shylock's hatred and revenge with calmness, with patience. I do oppose my patience to his fury. Fury there refers to his hatred for Antonio, his eagerness to take revenge on Antonio. And Antonio says that I will face Shylock's demands very patiently, very calmly. And I am armed to suffer with a quietness of spirit, the very tyranny and rage of his. I am ready to face his cruelty very patiently and very calmly. Go one and all and call the Jew into the court. Bring Shylock into the courtroom. Salerio, he is ready at the door. He comes, my lord. Enter Shylock. Make room and let him stand before our face. there are other people in the courtroom and the Duke is saying, make room and let Shylock come and stand in front of us. I think so too. Shylock, the world thinks and I think so too. Everyone in the courtroom and even outside the courtroom, all people, even I myself, we think that thou but leadest this fashion of thy malice to the last hour of the act. You will be cruel. You will be demanding his pound of flesh only up to the last moment. That thou but leadest this fashion of thy malice to the last hour of the act. And then 'tis thought thou'lt show thy mercy and remorse more strange than is thy strange apparent cruelty. The cruelty, the demand of the pound of flesh is the cruelty which Shylock insists on. He is very cruel by nature, but the Duke feels that at the last moment Shylock will change. He will feel sorry for Antonio and he will not demand this pound of flesh. And the change from cruelty to kindness will appear very strange in him. So, then is thy strange apparent cruelty. I think so too, that thou but leadest this fashion of thy malice to the last hour of the act. Last hour of the act is to the very last moment. You will be very cruel, you will be very full of revenge and hatred for Antonio, but then at the last moment you will change. And this change in your attitude will be more surprising than the cruelty which you are showing to Antonio. Then is thy strange apparent cruelty. And where thou now exactest the penalty, now you are demanding the penalty which is a pound of this poor merchant's flesh. Thou wilt not only lose the forfeiture, but touched with human gentleness and love, forgive a moiety of the principal. Principal amount is to 3,000 ducats. And the Duke is saying, Shylock at the last moment will so feel sorry for Antonio, will show compassion towards Antonio. He will not only forego the interest or the forfeiture, he will forego the pound of flesh, and not only he will forego the pound of flesh, but also part of the principal amount. Touched with human gentleness and love, he will feel sorry, he will feel sad for the losses which Antonio had to face, and forgive a moiety of the principal. He will not demand the full amount of 3,000 ducats. He will forego a part of it. Glancing an eye of pity on his losses, he will feel sad for the losses which Antonio had to face. That is, at the moment, all his ships have been wrecked and they have not come back with the profit which he had expected. Glancing an eye of pity on his back that have of late so huddled on his back, enough to press a royal merchant down. Antonio is a very important, very rich merchant of Venice, but the losses which he had to suffer have so put him down. They have like a burden on his back, that he is bowing under that burden, that have of late so huddled on his back, enough to press a royal merchant down. The losses which Antonio had to incur are enough, would have destroyed a very royal merchant, a very rich merchant, and pluck commiseration of his state from brassy bosom and rough hearts of flint, from stubborn Turks and Tartars never trained to offices of tender courtesy. Here two places are mentioned, Turkey and Tartary. Now in these two places, the people are not kind, they are not generous, they don't show compassion to other people. They have hearts which are like flint, hard-hearted, hearts like stones. So, even they will feel sorry for Antonio. Even these people who are not trained to any acts of generosity or kindness, even such hard-hearted, cruel people like people from Turkey and Tartary, even they will feel sorry for Antonio's condition. They have never been trained to offices of tender courtesy. They don't know what is kindness. They don't do any acts of kindness. But such people also will feel sorry for Antonio. We all expect a gentle answer, Jude. We all expect you to show kindness to Antonio. Shylock. I have possessed your grace of what I purpose. I have already told you my intentions. And by our holy Sabbath have I sworn to have the due and forfeit of my bond. Sabbath is their holy day, the Sunday or the Sabbath day we say, the holy day. On that day, Shylock had taken a promise, had made an oath that he will have only the due and forfeit of the bond, that he will accept only the penalty of the bond. If you deny it, let the danger light upon your charter and your city's freedom. If you refuse to give me justice, people will find fault with the judiciary of Venice. They will say that there is no justice in Venice. And so the legal system of Venice will be in danger. If you deny it, let the danger light upon your charter and your city's freedom. You will ask me why I choose to have a weight of carrion flesh, then to receive 3,000 ducats. I will not answer that. Perhaps you might ask me why I am demanding a pound of flesh, which is useless. It cannot be sold, it cannot be eaten, it can only be thrown away. It cannot be given to anyone also. So you will ask me why I am demanding this pound of flesh which is useless for me and not accepting the 3,000 ducats which is offered. A weight of carrion flesh, then to receive 3,000 ducats. I will not answer that. I am not obliged to give you an answer for that question. But say it is my humor. It is my wish. I want Antonio's pound of flesh and that is my wish. That is the only answer that I can give. Is it answered? Are you satisfied with my reply? What if my house be troubled with a rat and I be pleased to give 10,000 ducats to have it banned? Now Shylock is trying to refute the arguments put forward by the Duke that he should show compassion to Antonio. And Shylock is saying, if my house is troubled with a rat, if there is a rat in my house and I pay somebody 10,000 ducats to get this rat poisoned, can anybody question me? It is my money, it is my house, and I am getting rid of the rat with my money, and nobody can question me for that. What if my house be troubled with a rat and I be pleased to give 10,000 ducats to have it banned? Banned means poisoned. What, are you answered yet? Are you satisfied with my arguments? Some men there are that love not a gaping pig, a roasted pig with its mouth open, its eyes are there. Some people cannot bear the sight of this pig. But they cannot give any reason why they cannot bear the sight of this roasted pig. Some men there are that love not a gaping pig, a pig with its mouth open. Some that are mad if they behold a cat. A cat is a harmless creature, but some people scream and run away at the sight of a cat, and they cannot give a reason why they are doing like that. Some that are mad if they behold a cat, and others when the bagpipe sings in the nose. Bagpipe is a musical instrument. Some people cannot bear to hear the sound of the bagpipe. And others when the bagpipe sings in the note means the sound of the bagpipe, they cannot bear to hear the sound. For affection, mistress of passion, sways it in the mood of what it likes or loathes. There are personal likes and dislikes. People like certain things, people dislike certain things. And these people are not forced to give an answer why they like certain things and why they dislike certain other things. Mistress of passion sways it to the mood. That is, all people have personal likes and dislikes, and they are not bound to satisfy other people with reasons why they like certain things and why they dislike other things. Now for your answer. Are you satisfied with my arguments? as there is no firm reason to be rendered why he cannot abide a gaping pig, why he a harmless necessary cat, why he a woolen bagpipe. So people cannot give reasons why they dislike a pig, a roasted pig with its mouth open, a harmless cat, or the sound of the musical instrument, the bagpipe. But of force must give yield to such inevitable shame as to offend himself being offended. If people hurt you, the natural tendency is to hurt others. So Antonio has hurt me so much, and that is the reason why I want to take revenge on Antonio. So I can give no reason, nor I will not, more than a lodged hate and a certain loathing I bear Antonio, that I follow thus a losing suit against him. I hate Antonio. I have hated him for a long time. That is why I am demanding a pound of flesh, even though I suffer the loss of 3,000 ducats. Are you satisfied? Are you happy? Are you satisfied with my arguments? This is no answer, thou unfeeling man, to excuse the current of thy cruelty. This is not an answer this is not an excuse for you to be so cruel towards Antonio. Notice Shylock's reply. I am not bound to please you with my answers. Why should I please you with my replies? Do all men kill the things they do not love? If you don't like anything, will you make an attempt to kill that thing? If you don't like a person, will you make an attempt to kill that person? Do all men kill the things they do not love? Hates any man the thing he would not kill? Now, will a man hate something or someone so much that he will not destroy that thing or that person if he gets an opportunity to do so? Hates any man the thing he would not kill? Every offense is not a hate at first. For very small reasons you don't dislike or you don't hate a person or you don't kill a person. What wouldst thou have a serpent sting thee twice? If a snake comes and stings you, will you not kill that snake immediately, or will you give that snake an opportunity to sting you a second time? What wouldst thou have a serpent sting thee twice?